What's up, everybody? It's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about 4 things here. I'm going to mention them up front so you can stay on this video. And for everyone, thank you for watching the videos and the channel. I really appreciate it. When I see people watching it and getting information and giving me feedback on utilizing the information that I give you, it does give me inspiration. Please, after you watch the video, like it if you like the video, if you believe the information is worthy. I don't want to ask for that up front. And please subscribe to the channel. I do ask for that up front. If you're watching the content, I think that you will find that the information I have is very valuable. So we're going to talk about 4 things. An issue that I see happening with trade lines. It's sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Talking about AU trade lines. Another thing that if you saw the video of what happened with me, was I discriminated against? I'm going to give you the outcome of what happened with that for a mortgage loan. And an issue that I found with a client that had a charge off for an automobile, but it really wasn't supposed to be a charge off. It was given back due to Wisconsin lemon law. But I'm going to tell you what they had placed on his credit reports and the information that they sent to us at the office is 2 different things. I'm going to go over that. And then I'm going to talk about cell phone debt, communications type debt, still having some people having issues with those when they're bought by a debt collector. So let's get started. Something that I'm noticing with the AU trade lines, depending on which cards are being used for the AU trade lines, it is not populating on the reports as fast as it used to. We've seen some take upwards of 60 days to populate. Don't know why. Don't know if it's something that's happening with the bureaus or something that's actually happening with the specific cards that are being used. So, but they still, it is still an excellent way. I use this to build my children's credit. And this is something that you can use if you have a relative or someone that can assist you with it, or there's services that are provided for that. Next was I discriminated against for a mortgage loan? I had kind of had a video on that, and briefly just to go over what had happened was my wife, and I, we want to move back into like a farm type atmosphere. We used to live on one. We had 2 different ones over the years, and we're a lot older, and it's just we want to kind of finish out things on a farm with a lot of space, put our big RV there and stuff, and just have room for the grandchildren to run around using ATVs and that type of stuff. And I wanted to make a mini golf course for myself. Well, the loan that we were looking at getting was $950,000. We're going to put it's going to end up being $225,000 down. When we talked with the person that they assigned us with, that person tried to say that we had to have the same amount of money in the bank that we were going to utilize to buy the property. And we were like, what the hell is that? No one would tell anyone if you're going to buy a house that you got to have the same amount of money in the bank. But just to play with them, just to play their game, because we knew that this was a bunch of BS, but just to play their game, we said, okay, we have these accounts, showed them to them, and it has the amount. And guess what they did? They came up with another amount and said that you had to have another reserve account. And we were like, this is a bunch of BS. And, and we took it up with the branch manager, and it came back that it was totally BS. I'm not going to go into what I'm going to be doing about it. You never know. I might get a free farm over it. Maybe. But I don't want to disclose who it is because, it's, potentially going through channels, and it might get resolved without even having to go through a lawsuit. Next, let's talk about an account that was charged off This client right here, he had a charge off, but it was not when we did had to sit down with him and went through what was going on. On the credit reports, it states a charge off of over $5,000. After hearing what happened, he gave a vehicle back due to the Wisconsin lemon law, which you have a right to do that in Wisconsin. They wrote it off as a charge off. Him not knowing and understanding about his credit. He's young, but now he's got a business and he cares about his credit and stuff. When he looked at it, he was like, this was given back. The vehicle had an issue, gave it straight back to the dealer like in a couple of days. And they said that everything was going to be okay on there. And they even never came after him for payments or nothing, but on his credit reports, it's sitting there that he owes over $5,000. And we wrote and called, but we finally got a response. It's a local lending institution here. And they had stated that, they just said that if you believe that the information was incorrect with the bureaus, mark it down, get it back to them, and they would make a correction. And then they sent documentation about the loan, and it had a breakdown. And even on their breakdown, even with their breakdown that they're claiming as a charge-off, it's $1,472 on the last date of reporting was in 3/2018. Hold on, come, bring it on in. Okay, I'm on the line here. Okay. All right, it's on your desk.
Thank you.
Okay, and then, so it has on here $1,472. Sorry about that. One of my employees had to get me something. Had $1,472, but that's not even true. That's not even true. So if we just go based off of the inaccuracies where on the report and even on the documentation that they have right here, the account needs to be removed. But based off of what he gave a vehicle back due to Wisconsin's lemon law, and they didn't record that in the documentation, the auto dealer did, but they didn't, the finance company. And what I believe happened, this is what I believe happened, is when these dealers, especially, he was a younger kid, he went to one of these local in-house type places where they send it off to these finance companies. Those companies, they have what's called a chargeback. So say, for instance, you buy the vehicle for $5,000. They're going to give the dealer a certain amount of money, or they may give them all the money, but they're going to have a chargeback exception. That means that if the person either doesn't pay all of it or a portion of it, there's these different levels. We saw that with credit acceptance with a lot of dealers, and they really changed the game on how they were hurting dealers. But what they potentially did is they charged back the dealer. The dealer did not pay this $1,472.02. And because the dealer doesn't know any, the dealer isn't going to say anything. They took the vehicle back, they sold it, made their money back. They didn't want to pay this amount. Who do you think? They do business with each other, so who do you think? Young kid, back room, potentially. I'm not saying it happened, but they just said, hey, you write it off on yours as $1,472. Wash our hands. This whole thing is done. We continue doing business. I could see that happened. So what we're going to do is we're going to respond to them and get this whole item removed and debt removed. Not as a forgiven 1099-C. We're getting this debt removed because this should not be on his credit reports at all, and it should not be any debt that is discharged in his name under a 1099-C because it was given back in the lemon law. Now, if they want to do that with the car dealer, that's one thing. Next thing we have here is this one here I've been going back and forth with is Convergence Outsourcing, which this company is known for buying a lot of debt from cell phone companies and cable bill type companies. A few months ago, we had sent a dispute for a client for a full validation of the debt. I think it was for about $1,700 on an AT&T account. And they came first. They tried to come back and say that they did not receive anything. So we had to do the 1-2 punch where we resent it again, certified mail, and we also faxed it and emailed it directly to them. They sent back recently, let's see, just earlier this month, that they understand that you may have a dispute regarding an account with our client. We are asking that you provide as much information as you have so we can work to resolve your dispute. We need more information to begin the investigation. Identify the specific information that is being disputed. Explain the basis for the dispute. Include all supporting documents to sustain the basis of the dispute. The first basis of the dispute is that the dispute, this could be done two ways, but I'm going to start with the first part of the dispute is that this debt is past the legal statute of limitation under the Federal Communications Collections Act for Fair Debt Collection Practices Act and the let me get that one for the communications collections. Because there is one for collecting communications utility debt statute. You can type that in. Let me go to my website. And so with the statute of limitations for utility bills and different things. Now, some states have started increasing this, but for communications debt, for utilities, states have started changing, but for cell phone. So here we go here. So the federal statute for collecting a cell phone debt is 2 years. And that is still across the board is considered time barred. Some debt collectors are still trying to collect on it. They'll never take you to court, but they're still trying to collect on it. So the first dispute that we have, and the reason why it's kind of unclear is because when I spoke with the client, they stated they don't know when it originally charged off. It's not even shown on the credit reports. So we're just thinking that this is something that is not even not even the AT&T account is shown on the credit reports. So we're thinking that this could potentially be past the 2 years, and they're just trying to see what they're going to do with it. So step number one would be to dispute it based on the federal statute for communications debt, cell phone debt. Next thing would be a full debt validation to verify who this account was with. It had it for his wife's name, but she did not have this account. So we want to get all of the contracts and information on that. And supporting documents, they're going to need to give us supporting documents. They're the one that's coming saying that this account is theirs, and all they had was a last, they didn't even have a last billing statement. They just had a statement from the debt collector stating that you owe this debt of a little over $1,700. So those are my 4 things for today. I hope everybody's having a great day. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different, so you can see my 2-phase settlement process and my 8-point validation process for repairing credit. It really does work. Does take time, but it really does work. Next thing is, if you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website yournumber3scores.com. Grab all 3 reports: TransUnion, Equifax, Experian, and all 3 credit scores for all 3 bureaus. If you have debt collectors coming after you, make sure you grab my 3-pack of letters: the statute of limitations letter, debt validation letter, and cease and desist collection activities letter. Link is below here. I do ask for a donation on that. I think it's worthy because this information, same like this customer, he just paid for the service, didn't want to do it. But it can get, $1,700 What type of donation would you give if it gets you out of paying $1,700? And this individual does not want to have it on the credit report. So we were able to stop it from even being able to proceed. And then now we're moving forward into the next phase of getting this information to where they're going to say that they're not going to come after them for this debt. I know it's going to be successful. Thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and founder of the CreditRepairShop.com. Please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel. Post your questions and comments. Thank you for your time.